Wanted to get into the WHL with you really quickly because we do have round 2 of the Western Hockey League playoffs kicking off tonight. One of the things that I think is really cool for the league in general, just an across-the-board statement, is when you have sort of the generation of pro hockey player and their kids making their way through the ranks. It definitely, I think, brings a little bit more eyeballs, a little more intrigue to the junior situation, and that is the case with TJ Ginla, right? I mean, you have, obviously, Hockey Hall of Famer Jerome Ginla, and, he's part owner of the Kamloops Blazers. He lives here in the Okanagan area, in the interior, and to have his son, sort of a legacy player almost, playing in Kelowna, and having the season that he's had, and 8 goals in the first round of the playoffs. I mean, I think a lot of people are really taking in this storyline and talking about the Western Hockey League playoffs and where this might do in terms of draft situation. I think this is a really good one for the league.
It checks all the boxes, and it's one of those seasons where if you're a WHL fan in Kamloops, it's not the traditional kind of contention that the Blazers are in. So other storylines like this fill the gap. And, listen, Blazers fans would prefer to be watching Kamloops in action this weekend. But the fact that they've got these other storylines to consume, the question as to how far does Prince George make it, who comes out of the WHL, in terms of the Memorial Cup in the year after it was hosted in Kamloops. But Ginla, of course, brings that name recognition. People feel closer to him and his family, given his profile with the Flames, given his profile in the Kamloops Blazers organization. I think it's a fantastic story. It's one of those stories that you can't get enough of from a player development point of view.
One more question on this, and I wanted to ask about Landon Dupont, who gets exceptional status into the Western Hockey League. A young kid, going to be drafted first overall, getting that opportunity right away to dress for the Everett Silvertips at a young age, which is, I think, a really significant one, obviously for him, but for the league. I was talking about this, earlier on in the week when I saw he got that exceptional status being granted, just saying, you know what, here in Kamloops, obviously we're a big junior hockey city. We love to support our Blazers, but it hasn't been the most ideal of seasons, and there hasn't really been a whole lot to get out there and watch. Like, there was good teams, you had the Prince George Cougars, you had the Portland Winterhawks coming through, but they didn't have a lot of name value, right? We didn't get Moose Jaw and Jagger Firkus coming through Kamloops here this year, so there wasn't like sort of those marquee matchups. We didn't have a Connor Bedard making their way onto the ice here at the Sandman Center. When I see stories like this and the fact that he's going to be here, I mean, even if the team is doing poorly, which I'm obviously hoping the Blazers do a lot better next year, but even if they were to be, not great again, we're going to have players like Landon Dupont coming through, which is really going to bring in more fans, more butts in seats. What do you make of just having exceptional players? Is this something that is happening too frequently for your liking, or do you think that this is a good thing, not only for the players, but the league itself?
Yeah, I mean, I think they want to be careful not to sort of throw that around, to every player who's got a notable statistic. But certainly for casual fans of the WHL, when you hear player of exceptional status, you're going to want to learn more. And that's what you want. You want your fans to want to learn more, either by watching the kid play when he comes to town, or following him online, and certainly I think it's a good designation. Again, we got to be careful not to sort of slap it on everybody's back, but in this particular case, just what we're doing right now, it's Kamloops Blazers off season, but you're still talking about some storylines and some marquee players coming in the next season that will matter to the fans of the Kamloops Blazers from a box office point of view and from a competitive point of view.
All right, well, we're here with Tom Mayenknecht, host of the Sport Market. I will wrap up here by asking you a little bit about your trip here to the tournament capital. You got to be here over the weekend. We had our Kamloops Sports Council handing out its awards for the 2023 season, or the calendar year of 2023. Of course, there's some new inductions into the Kamloops Hall of Fame. How was your trip here? And what all did you get up to while you were in Kamloops?
Well, it was, first of all, just such an honor to be a guest of the Kamloops Sports Council and Kamloops Sports Hall of Fame at the Colombo Lodge on Saturday night. I literally came in, right after the show on Saturday, and there was 275 people, and it was just another reminder to me of the fact that Kamloops is not just, Jeff, the tournament capital of Canada. It's a leading sports hub, period, in Canada. The culture for sport at the community level is second to none, and that was shown to me by the turnout of people, the who's who of the Kamloops sports community. And wearing my BC Sports Hall of Fame hat, I'm privileged to be the chair of the BC Sports Hall of Fame. I was just so tickled to be there to see firsthand the excellence that goes into every player, every athlete, every official, every coach, every builder. And it's a reminder that's where sport gets built at the community level, and Kamloops is doing a great job. Just one last thing. We're going to be bringing the BC Sports Hall of Fame annual summit to Kamloops in September. There'll be some really cool things happening, and it was great to start to preview that last Saturday night.
Well, I'll definitely be paying attention to that and see if I can be a part of those festivities in some capacity. But yeah, glad you had a good trip to Kamloops, and we're sad to see you go, but we'll welcome you back with open arms next time you have a chance to make your way here. Always appreciate the time of joining us on the air, though, and we'll listen for the show here this upcoming weekend.
Hey, all the best, Jeff. Right back at you. Thanks for having me on, and we'll see you again next time I'm in Kamloops, and obviously talk before.
Absolutely. There you go. Tom Mayenknecht, host of Sport Market, joining us